Hello friends, this is lesson number 6 in the series of Indian writing in English, and today in this lesson we shall discuss R.K. Narayan. In the last lesson I told you that whenever someone asks you about the trio of Indian English literature, we have three names: Mulk Anand, Rajarao and R.K. Narayan. He was born in the year 1906 and died 2001. And remember, his full name is Rashipuram Krishnaswamy Narayan. Okay, there may be his father names included as well, as we have in the South India. The people include their father name with them. Anyway, now R.K. Narayan, he is famously known for one special creation. He has created an imaginary place in his work. The name of the place is Malgudi. So regarding this, once there was a question as well. So remember, R.K. Narayan created this imaginary place, that is Malgudi. Here, Malgudi represents the, you can say, modern India of Western culture. Somewhere we can say, it is somewhere written, it represents modern India of Western culture. Not that advanced, still you see in Malgudi the rural life. Even on Doordarshan, in the past, there used to be a serial like Malgudi Days. So through that, we can also get to know a lot about this place. Remember, it is an imaginary place, and it is near Saryu River. The writer has created in his imagination near the Saryu River in South India. Now, we have another name, that is Graham Greene. Graham Greene, he was his friend, as we have E.M. Forster for Mulk Anand. Same way, Graham Greene is a friend of R.K. Narayan. He is also as his mentor. And apart from this, he received the Sahitya Academy Award. Remember this fact. He was the first person to receive this award. He also received Padma Bhushan, and he translated Mahabharata and Ramayana. And this writer, R.K. Narayan, he is also admired or appreciated by the Britishers as well. Now we take up some of his important works. So the first one, my favorite, that is Swami and Friends. As I mentioned on YouTube as well, you can go there, you can find Malgudi Days and also Swami and Friends. There are about 8 or 9 episodes, I think. You can watch them, and through that you can understand this story. And it is very, you can say, entertaining as well. So, it was published in the year 1935, and the original title for this work was Swami the Tate. Swami the Tate. And then Graham Greene, the name I mentioned, he changed the title, and he changed the title to Swami and Friends. Why? Actually, he said that it would be somewhat resembling to a work that is written by Rudyard Kipling. Remember Jungle Book? It is written by Rudyard Kipling, and his work is Stocky and Company. Stocky and Co. So same way we have Swami and Friends. So it would resemble this work. So that is why he changed the name. Next, in this work now, we have the main character, a 10-year-old boy, and the name is Swaminathan. And in this Swami and Friends, the novel I am talking about, and the serial, Girish Karnad, the famous Indian writer who has died, I think, 2 or 3 years before, in that YouTube episodes, you will find Girish Karnad is also there. He acted as the father of Swami. So very interesting one. You surely go there and enjoy there. Anyway, so 10-year-old boy we have Swaminathan. He is studying in Albert Mission School in Malgudi. But Swami, he does not like to go to school, and you see the boys of his age in this novel, like Rajam. Rajam is the son of a police officer, and Rajam becomes the close friend to Swami. Earlier in the beginning, we see Rajam is not his friend, but later he becomes his friend. Another character we have, that is Somu. Somu is someone like you can say a monitor of the class, and then we have Mani. He is a you can say bullish fellow, a mighty sort of person, and he's he's good, but for nothing. He used to teach in the not teach, I should say. He used to cheat during the exams as well. Then we have Shankar or Sankar, you may say. He's a brilliant boy. And then we have one more name, that is Samuel. He's also known, or in fact, I would say the other boys, they used to tease him with the name P. P, you know, it's mutter. So, because he had very, you can say, he was of a small height, he was not well built, so that is why his friends used to tease him. Now, the story has nothing special. Throughout the story, we see these boys, they play cricket matches as well, and sometimes there is a quarrel going on. The boy fights, and Swami, he also, you can say, struggling in his studies. The teacher beats him. His father is very strict. So that sort of things you find there. And in the end, we see Rajam, that his father is transferred from that place. So that is where we see the end of the story. And that time we see Swami. He cries a lot. And one thing more we can remember about this play, or sorry, this novel, that Rajam, he he becomes, or you can say, he is the captain of the cricket team of these kids. And this cricket team or club is referred as MCC. Or MCC, actually, it is a club in England, Marley Cricket Club, I think, Marylebone Cricket Club, something like that. And in this novel, the cricket club he created, that is known as Victory Union 11. And they play just to get relieved from the stress, nothing special about their professional cricket. And in this novel, we have the name mentioned of these famous cricketers like Jack Hobbs, Don Bradman or Donald Bradman, Duleep, Maurice Tate. So just go through this work if you wish. So I have just told you about the outline of this work, because there are several questions in the past which are asked from this novel. We shall discuss them, but for the moment we have the next work written by him, that is The Bachelor of Arts. It was published in the year 1937. Now, the trilogy written by R.K. Narayan, the three novels, the first one is of course Swami and Friends, the second one is The Bachelor of Arts, and the third one is An English Teacher. So remember, three novels in the trilogy. So in The Bachelor of Arts now, there is a young man and the name is Chandan. So the character we have Chandan. Okay, I just write this name, very common one. And he cannot marry a lady. The name is Malthi or Malathi, whatever in South India they write the name, because she is a Manglik. Okay, so you know there is a term in a religious way, they check some of the things related to the birth, and then the Jyotish declared that he or she is Manglik sort of person. Anyway, and his grandmother opposed the marriage. That is why he cannot marry Malathi. And later we see that he is from the upper middle class, and his heart get broken, and then he leaves the place and goes to Madras, Chennai, Madras, and there he is desperated and frustrated, and later he becomes, what is this word, a little difficult, okay, let's see, some sannyasi sort of person. So for this we have word ascetic. Okay, you can read this word as ascetic. So he becomes sannyasi, a religious monk sort of person, and later he comes back home, and then he marries a lady, the name is Sushila. So remember the names of these characters, Sushila. Okay, he marries, and then he takes a job as a newspaper agent, and eventually he gets satisfied with his wife's or with his marriage life. So that sort of a story we have, the Bachelor of Arts. So remember the main characters. Then we have The Dark Room. It was published in the year 1938. The Dark Room. Remember, regarding this there was a question as well, so we shall discuss that. But first, this novel was first published in Great Britain. In Britain it was published, then it was published in India in 1956. So if there was a, you may get a question like this, the novel by R.K. Narayan, which was published in England, in Britain, that is Dark Room, later it published in India in 1956. Now, in this work, there is a character Savitri. Savitri. She is a submissive wife. Submissive, means not that rebellious. So she is a wife of a person. The name is Ramani. That sort of a name. And Ramani is an employee in a company, Englandia Insurance Company. Okay, some odd name. Okay, I just write Englandia, or maybe England, but somewhere you may find this name as Englandia Insurance Company. Now, she is treated harshly by her husband. As I mentioned that she is a submissive wife, so it means her husband treats her very badly. He beats her, and we have their children as well. The name are like Kamala, Sumanti, and there is a boy. The name is Babu. Okay, these are the children. So the husband is dominating the family, and he is always beating her. So whenever she is, you can say, so much upset, she goes to the dark room, and there she cries. So later we find that she came to know about extramarital affair of her husband. Then she leaves the house with a quarrel, because first she quarrel, okay, there is a quarrel with her husband, and then she leaves the house. And then she tries to attempt suicide. But anyway, she fails, and maybe she was drowning in the river. Eventually, she got saved, and she also does a job in the temple, and later, because of missing her children, she comes back home. So that is about the outline of the story, The Dark Room. Remember the central character, that is Savitri. Next work we have An English Teacher, or you can say simply English Teacher. So it was published in the year 1945, and this teacher, the name is Krishna. He is associated with the same school, that is Albert Mission College. Actually it is, okay, not school, Albert Mission College. Krishna has a wife, and the name of the wife is Sushila. So the character of Sushila actually represents his own wife. and the name of R.K. Narayan's wife is Rajam. Okay, and they have a daughter as well in this novel. That is actually the third child. The name mentioned is as Leela, and Leela, she gets ill, and the father takes care of her, and later she dies. She dies of typhoid. Typhoid, it's a common illness, and that sort of things we have in this uh, novel. Okay, remember the character of Rajam is dedicated to his wife. Sorry, the character of Sushila is dedicated to his wife Rajam. The next work we have Mr. Sampath. Now, this work. Actually, the full title is Mr. Sampath, the printer of Malgudi. So, the printer of Malgudi. Okay, once there was a question as well regarding this. Uh, anyway, Mr. Sampath, the printer of Malgudi. Now, this work is is a comic sort of a novel and realistic as well, and it is made up of two parts. So it has two parts. The first part deals with the character Mr. Sampath and a newspaper he is going to produce, and in the second part we have another character, that is Srinivas. Okay, where I am writing, just Srinivas. Yes, that is the other character, and the second part deals with Srinivas and Mr. Sampath and their struggle or about the production of a movie. So, in the first part, Mr. Sampath is dealing with the production or the publication of a newspaper, and in the second part, it is related to Srinivas, Mr. Sampath, and the production of a movie. This is a work, Mr. Sampath, the printer of Malgudi. The next work we have, that is The Financial Expert, published in the year 1952. The central character of this work is Margaya or Maragya, however you may pronounce this name, Margaya, okay, like this. So, this character, he helps the people. He helps the people to get loan. The illiterate villagers, they visit bank and he sits before the bank, and there he gives services to the people. And the bank secretary, once he humiliated him, and then he leaves that place. And later he goes on fast for some reasons maybe, and then he worshipped goddess Lakshmi for 40 days, and after that he becomes rich by publishing a book that is a somewhat not a, you can say, socially accepted book, and the book was published actually by Dr. Pal. Dr. Pal, another character, remember this name. Okay, just outline we are dealing with. And here, Margaya, he becomes publisher, journalist, and also correspondent author. Means now he has a different role. Earlier, he was helping the people in the bank or outside the bank. He was providing services, and now he has associated himself to the book publishing. And the name of the book is important. The name of the book is Domestic Harmony. Domestic Harmony. And the book is about the bed life. The bed life. So it may contain some adult topic as well. So he becomes so rich and wealthy, the character Margaya. And eventually he is not satisfied or happy with his life because his son is spoilt. So that sort of a life the character Margaya is having. So remember the name Dr. Paul as well. Now another work by him, that is Waiting for Mahatma. So Mahatma, obviously somewhere indicating the character of Mahatma Gandhi. Now, in this work, we have several characters. The first one is Sri Ram. This work is written in the background of the Quit India movement, that is in 1942. Okay, and the character we have, that is Sri Ram, the central character. He loves a girl. Okay, it is also set in Malgudi. The name of the girl is Bharti, and he is an active participant in the Quit India movement. Sri Ram. Another character we have, that is Jagdish, and he is a follower of Subhash Chandra Bose. Now, this novel deals with the, you can say, the idea of a Quit India movement, the partition of India in 1947, and also assassination of Mahatma Gandhi. So it is written in gentle comic style, not that very serious, but it gives a deeper message. So remember Waiting for Mahatma, written by R.K. Narayan. Now, his masterpiece, that is Guide. About this work, you can talk a lot, and this is very famous. The Guide, it was published in the year 1958. There was a movie as well on this work by Devanand. You well know, I think, about this. And one more thing, earlier we discussed Mr. Sampath, the printer of Malgudi. Even on this work, we have a movie. So most of the literature, Indian literature, is having movies or TV serials. Okay, especially of R.K. Narayan is having. And now guide about this. Okay, one simple thing first, that he won Sahitya Academy Award for this work, and this work talks about the transformation of a man to saint. So I will not go deep into the study because you should watch the movie, and I would say uh, the story is worth discussing. Okay, I just tell you about the brief introduction. In this work, we have first the guide. The central character is Raju, and then there is a girl, and she comes in his life. She comes to this place with her husband. The name of the husband is Marco. Okay, he is not that romantic sort of person, and he has a wife. The name of the wife is Rosie. Now, Rosie is the wife of Marco. Marco is not that sort of a romantic person, and then they comes to this place where we have Raju. Raju is a guide. He is a tour guide, the people who visit this place, and he tells them which is worth visiting. Now, Marco is keeps himself busy with his own work, and he does not take that much interest in visiting the places. On the other hand, Rosie, she visits the places with Raju. Eventually, Rosie falls in love with Raju. Now, after this, we see a development in the novel that Rosie, she is a professional dancer actually. She dances very well, and then they start a company. They do not marry. Raju and Rosie, they do not marry, but Raju keeps Rosie with him at his house. Though his mother Raju's mother oppose that why he is keeping the girl who is already married. But anyhow, Raju keeps her, and then she turns as a professional dancer. Then they start earning money. Now Raju gets greedy. He is just after money through Rosie's dance performances. On the other hand, Rosie, she's not that much after money, but she's in love with Raju. Now there is an incident where Raju knowingly forged some, you can say, a letter or signed Rosie. So there is a case of forgery against him, and then Raju is sent to jail. Actually, the whole thing is, or the whole incident happens because of Marco. Marco wants to take revenge, As I mentioned, Marco was not a romantic sort of person, so Rosie leaves him. And Marco, by profession, he was an archaeologist or sort of person. He was researching on the old buildings or old creations. Anyway, so Raju got in jail, and this is the first part. Okay, okay, it is not divided into several parts, but by the story, it is the half of the story where Raju is in the jail. But after that, Raju get released from the jail, and there he became a saint in a temple near Saryu River. And the name of the village is, I think, Mangal, maybe. And eventually, the people of that village, they take him as a saint. Though Raju is not. Actually, it happens by chance. It happens by chance that the people, okay, I don't want to go into detail. I just tell you in short. When he was released from the jail, one person, maybe a mad guy sort of person, he mistook Raju as a saint. Then he spread the news that a saint has come in their village. And after that, everyone visited him. They offered him several things for eating or drinking, everything. Not wine sort of thing, but at least they served him. Now Raju enjoyed that. So he did not want to tell them that he is not a saint. Eventually, someone again said that he would take fast. He would go on a fast as it was not raining in Mangal in that village. And later, people stopped bringing eatables, and then Raju was forced. Earlier, he was forced, and later, he decided that he will go on fast. And after that, we see Rosie is also coming to that place. Then we have the ending of the novel like an open ending, because there is no clarity what happened to Raju, whether he died or it rained in that village. So that sort of a story we have. Guide. You must watch this movie to enjoy. Okay, movie may have a different ending than the real novel. So at least you should to understand the main plot line. I would suggest you that you should go for that movie. Okay, so remember this point that this novel has an open ending. And remember, in the end, it is not clear whether Raju died of keeping long fast or his life was saved. So this is about the novel Guide. So remember the three characters, Raju, Marco and Rosie. After that we have My Dateless Diary. So just remember it is an autobiography by him, My Dateless Diary. Then another work, Man Eater of Malgudi. It was also a famous work. It was published in the year 1961. The Man Eater of Malgudi. Now this is also a comic sort of a novel. Remember there are important characters like Nataraj, Vasu. These are the two central characters. Now Nataraj is the owner of a printing press. He has two of his friends. There is a poet and a senior journalist. So Nataraj has two friends. On the other hand, okay, remember one thing, in this novel we have the myth of Bhasmasur. Remember this point because there was a question as well regarding this. So we shall discuss that. Bhasmasur, as in Hindu mythology, there may be a myth regarding this. So the same is applied to this work. Now, as I was talking, that the character Vasu. Vasu is a demon-like character, strongly built man, and so strong that in Malgudi nobody dares to fight with him. And he lives there where Nataraj is living. So Vasu is on rent actually. Vasu is living on rent. And Vasu is a selfish, and he's drinking alcohol, and sometimes he bringing women to his apartment as well. Nataraj opposes this, but no result. So every evil you can find in Vasu's character. He's not a good character, he's a negative character. He is a taxidermist. So now what is taxidermist? uh, Taxidermist, the person who kills the animals to run his business, like with their bones or with their skin. So he kills birds, animals, and then he does his business. He sells them, possibly. And there is no one to contradict him because he is so muscular. And one day Vasu decides to kill an elephant, and the name of that elephant is Kumar. This is also a point. And Natraj, he again goes to the police to inform, but he gets no help. And one day, as a comic end of this story, we see one day Vasu is found in his room killed. How? Actually, he slapped himself. Why? He was so strong, he wanted to kill a mosquito or a fly, and he slapped himself. And by the effect of that slap, we see Vasu is dead. So that sort of a comic effect we see in this novel. So there is a quote about this work, I should write there. Every demon carries within him. Okay, just every demon. Okay, what should be the spelling? Okay, yes. So actually, every demon carries within him. For Vasu, it is said, unknown to himself. Okay, spelling of every is also wrong. Okay, a tiny seed of self-destruction. So he was demon sort of person, but there was some element of self-destruction was as well. So this is applied to Vasu. It is not said by Vasu, but it is applied to Vasu because he himself becomes the cause of his own death. Now, after this, we have another work by him, that is Vendor of Sweets. In this work, we have the father and son relationship. There is a father, the name of the father is Jagan, and there is son, the name of the son is Mali. So you would see in the concept like generation gap. Jagan, he is a sweet vendor, he is running a shop, he is earning very well, and then he has a son. So there is no mother. I have read this story, and you can also watch. There is a, you can say, on YouTube, Malgudi Days. There is a detailed videos, 2 or 3 episodes it contains, I think. So Mali, he is following the Western culture. He is following Americans' way of life. He has studied there, and he has married a foreigner, a girl, American, Korean, maybe mixed, that girl, and then there is a clash between the father and the son. So, in Vendor of Sweets represents the clash of father and son, the two characters, Jagan and Mali. Remember, Jagan is typical Indian father. He is follower of Gandhiji. He is so traditionally, means he has traditional views. He is so much orthodox and conservative in his views. He is somewhat strict as well. He is not open-minded. On the other hand, we have Mali. He is absolutely uh, like a frank sort of person. He is after the Western way of living. Now, after this, we have one more work, that is Lolly Road and Other Stories. Lolly Roads and Other Stories. I have I am talking about this because once there was a question. So what is that question? Actually, it is about a short story. So, in this work or in this collection of short stories, Lolly Road and other stories, there is a short story, and that was asked in the UGC NET exam. So, what is that story? The Martyr's Corner. The Martyr's Corner. Okay, so this is the short story. And even I think in some of the board syllabus in plus 2 class, you will find this story. This is an interesting story, you can read that. So remember, this short story is written by R.K. Narayan, and that falls under the collection, or the, you can say, the work, that is Lolly Road and the other stories. Now after that we have one more, a horse and two goats. A horse and two goats. And about this as well, there was a question, so I'm just mentioning this novel or this story. The story of this novel is set in a tiny village, a small village, and the name of that village is Kritam. Somewhere you find the name as starting with K, or somewhere you might find this name starting with C, Kritam, a horse and two goats. After this, we have My Days. My Days, and it is his autobiography, published in the year 1974. Here he talks about his childhood, especially the days he spent with his grandmother in Chennai. So, about his experience of childhood at his grandmother's home. After that, okay, we have next work, that is Tiger of Malgudi. So whenever comes the name Malgudi, you can simply go for R.K. Narayan. Now in this work we have a tiger, and the name of that tiger is Raja. And the tiger himself, he is the narrator of the story. So Raja, a tiger. And it is inspired, we can say, from Buddha's concept of enlightenment. The myth or the concept you can take from the life of Gautam Buddha's. So this work, Tiger of Malgudi, is inspired. Now the tiger, the central or the main character, the narrator, he is captured by a circus owner, and in that circus now, the tiger is okay, jailed, or he cannot escape. And even later we find that the tiger is not trying to escape. He is somewhere, you can say, satisfied, or he is just bound there. He is not willing to leave that circus. Now after that we have one last work. Okay, it's a huge list. So the last work by him, that in this list, not all we have discussed, but the prominent one we have discussed, having a reference with the previous year questions. So the name is Talkative Man, published in the year 1986. Now about this work, simply it is a story of a man who wants to become a journalist in Malgudi, and his struggle we see. And then he meets a man, and the name of that man is Dr. Ran. Remember this name, Dr. Ran. And he has come from an imaginary land. Okay? And that imaginary land is Timbuktu. Like this. This is the name. And Dr. Ran starts staying there in his house, and later we find that Dr. Ran is a wicked sort of person. He is a womanizer. He's so much interested in the women's, especially having a relationship or affair with them. So that sort of you can say the idea or the storyline we have in Talkative Man. So it was a huge list of the works written by R.K. Narayan. Now we take up the questions which are asked from his works. Okay. So the first one, which two of the following works were published in the year 1947? Now, if you remember, just try to think the answer. The first option, Dark Room, we just discussed. It was published in the year 1938 and it is written by R.K. Narayan. Sampath, Mr. Sampath, the printer of Malgudi. It was published in 1949. You can check there, we just discussed. Now, both these works are written by R.K. Narayan. Now, one more thing with the cross reference, again, I am telling you, we have discussed this title, Seven Summers. In the last lesson, Mulk Raj Anand, he wrote this, his autobiography, Seven Summers. Remember? So, this is written by Mulk Raj Anand and it was written in the 1960s. Actually, the other works or the other parts of the biography were 1960s. It was in 1951. So now we clearly have idea that Seven Summers by Mulk Raj Anand, it was post-independence written, and Sampath by R.K. Narayan. The Big Heart now. It was again by Mulk Raj Anand, Big Heart, and it was published in the year 1945 or so, before the independence of India. So next question now. In this question we have a quote. So let's read. Every demon carries within him unknown to himself. The same quote we discussed or I wrote. Every demon carries within him unknown to himself a tiny seed of self-destruction. Means everyone has some element, or every demon actually has some elements of self-destruction within himself and goes up in thin air at the most unexpected moment. Now, to which of R.K. Narayan's character the above statement is applied? Raju from Guide, the central character of Raju in Guide, and then Jagan from Sweet Vendor, Vasu from the Man Eater of Malgudi, Margaya from the financial experts. The answer is Vasu. So we have already discussed this. He simply slapped himself to kill a mosquito as we usually do. And by the effect of that, his power, he had so much power, he died. Okay, moving on. The next question we have now. The Bhasmasura myth is used in R.K. Narayan's which work? The Bhasmasura. Bhasmasura or Bhasmasura, however you may say. So, pretty easy. That is the man eater of Malgudi. The man eater of Malgudi. In that we have two important characters, Vasu and Nataraj. And there is elephant as well. The name of that elephant is Kumar. So, in that we have the myth of Bhasmasura. Next. Now, this is a bigger question, I think. So, let's read. Which among the following is the correct in context of R.K. Narayan? So, what is wrong we have to find and we have to tell which of these statements are correct. So, first, the Guide is an open-ended novel. This is well said. This is rightly said. I told you that the Guide has not clear ending because the writer leaves us at a point where we can imagine whether Raju dies or it rains in that city, that village. So it has open ending. This is right. So now, and you can see that in all four options, option A is there. Now option B. Most of his novels are from elite section of society. Now this is wrong. Mulk Raj Anand and R.K. Narayan, they are not talking about the people of elite class. They are talking about the people of common, of the middle class or the lower middle class, the struggling class, poor people. So statement B is wrong. Now, he wrote a short story titled The Martyr's Corner. This I already discussed, this fact. So this is correct. He wrote a short story, The Martyr's Corner. And this short story is in the book that is Lolly Road, and other collections, other stories. Now, option D. So, A and C is correct. Now, see option D. He received the Booker's Prize for his novels The Vendor of Sweets. Now, this statement is wrong. Remember one simple fact that he never received Booker's Prize during his lifetime. Okay, and E. Malgudi is a real life city in Karnataka. This is absolutely wrong because Malgudi is not a realistic place, it is an imaginary place. So now on the basis of these options, now we get that A and C both are correct. Only A and C. So the option 2 is to be correct. D is wrong and also E is wrong. And B, of course, it is wrong. Next question. Now we have two questions. The first we discussed already in the video of Mulk Raj Anand, where we discussed that English writer with the Indian writer having friendship or their counterpart. So Mulk Raj Anand had a friend E.M. Foster, and then R.K. Narayan is having friend Graham Greene. Next, there was a question to match the writer with his work. So R.K. Narayan has to be matched with The Dark Room. The Dark Room, published in the year 1938. Now, next question. Very simple, you can easily answer, just read. Who among the following Indian writers in English has created an identifiable imagined locale? So which imaginary place? Locale means locality. So who has created? R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan has created an imaginary place, that is Malgudi. In literature, we have some characters or some writers, I should say, who has created imaginary places. So one famous name you should remember, I just mentioned for cross reference, that Thomas Hardy, an English writer, and he has created an imaginary place, that is Wessex. Wessex. Thomas Hardy has created this imaginary place. So Thomas Hardy, famously known for his works like Tess of the D'Urbervilles, Jude the Obscure, Far from the Madding Crowd, and even one more famous work is Mayor of Casterbridge. So all are interesting. Anyway, this is just for reference that Thomas Hardy has created an imaginary place, that is Wessex. Okay, spellings may be a little different, and R.K. Narayan has created Malgudi. Next question. Now, R.K. Narayan's The Swami and Friends, which game? I don't know. Okay, which should be the words? Others or okay. Swami, the best kind of emotional release from the strain and pressure of disagreeable circumstances. So, which game they play actually? Swami and his friends, Rajam, they play which game? That is cricket. Cricket, the game they play. Not tennis, not football, not hockey. R.K. Narayan's A Horse and Two Goats is set in a village, tiny village, and the name of that village is Kritam. Kritam. Next question. So this is also a question of, I think we have to understand. What is the correct chronological order of the publications of these works? Now, from the first site, you can say prima facie what you can see. R.K. Narayan's Financial Expert, Manohar Malgankar's Band in Ganges. Remember, we have talked about this name has come 2 or 3 times. This work, A Band in Ganges. We shall discuss this work pretty soon. Raja Rao's Kantapura. We shall also discuss this work. Shashi Tharoor's The Great Indian Novel. Then Arundhati Roy's The God of Small Things. So what should be the correct order? Okay, Shashi Tharoor and Arundhati Roy, these are from the current period. We already have these two writers, they are writing. R.K. Narayan and Manohar Malgonkar and Raja Rao's Kantapura. So what should be the correct order for this? The first option, R.K. Narayan's The Financial Expert. It was published in the year 1952. And Rajarau's Kantapura, we shall discuss this pretty soon. It was published in the year 1938. Remember, in 1938 we have work by him, that is Dark Room by R.K. Narayan. And Untouchable, that is also famous work. It is published in the year 1935. So just try to mug up the things. Sometimes you may associate these things with facts. Sometimes you just have to mug up. So Rajarau's Kantharao has to be the first one, published in the year 1938. So with this, only with this option, if you know Rajarau's Kanthapura, then you can easily click on the option C. Okay, if you don't know, then R.K. Narayan's at option 1952, second, and the Manohar Malgomkar's Band in Gange. It was published in the year 1964 or so. So now with these three options, you can easily get your answer right. CAB, that is option 3. Okay, the great Indian novel, that is written by Shashi Tharoor, the Congress MP from Tamil Nadu, I think, maybe. Okay, I don't remember exactly which constituency he represents. Anyway, so Shashi Tharoor, it was published in the year 1989. And Arundhati Roy's The God of Small Things, it was published in the year 1997. So I think if you get any option right, if you know the latest one, even by that you can get it right. Okay, no, because option 1, 2, 3 all are having E. Anyway, so this should be the right answer, option C. Remember, Arundhati Roy, she got Booker Prize for this work, The God of Small Things, in the year 1997. So with cross reference, we can remember things. Okay, so I think this is the last question that I have taken from the previous year papers. So that's all we have. Okay, it was a long lesson, 52 minutes we have already spent. So I would suggest you that you should at least go for the detailed study of Swami and Friends, at least not for the exam point of view, but for at least entertainment and for reading purpose, and the guide. These two works are worth reading. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching this lesson and have a great day.